Reading class, lesson 7. What are some things you always have to capitalize? Tell me at least 5. Did you remember about countries? Countries have to be capitalized. For me, I would love to go to Norway, Greece, Sweden. Those are some places I would like to travel to, some countries. What countries would you like to travel to? I would also like to travel to Hawaii, and that needs a capital letter, but not because it's a country. Do you know Hawaii is not a country? It's a state. It's part of the United States, even though it's not right close by. You have to fly to get to it, and it's not connected to the United States, but it's still part of the United States. What else do you have to capitalize? Holidays, Christmas, Valentine's. We just had Easter. Is your birthday a holiday? No, it is not. We don't all celebrate your birthday. Your mom and your family, and maybe your grandma and grandpa's, but not the whole United States. So it's not a holiday. What for punctuation mark do we put in a compound sentence? A comma. Read these two sentences. Which one is a compound sentence? Jane and Laura went shopping, or Jane went shopping and Laura went with her? This one, and they're really easy to pick out because they have a comma in front of the and. This one, Jane, just by itself is not a sentence. Today, I know you're excited. It's about writing a book report. Your favorite part, writing, right? So if you didn't finish reading your story, I want you to go finish reading your story before you keep going, because you do need to read your story before you can write about it. Writing your book report. Let's have the boys read the first paragraph and then the girls. Now that you have finished reading your library book, you are ready to write your book report. In your report, do not tell everything about the book. Just tell 2 or 3 interesting things that happened. If your book had an exciting ending, do not tell about it. Your book report should make people want to read the book. Dick read a book about kangaroos. This is the first paragraph of his book report. You see how he has it indented? Make sure you indent it. This is a true story about kangaroos. It tells where kangaroos live and what they eat. It tells how they protect themselves from their enemies. So, let's go down to where it says creative writing. Where it says writing, letter A. Follow these directions. Number 1, turn to page 65. Tear out your book report form. It should look like this. Number 2, write your book report by filling in the blanks of the book report form. You may look back at the sentences you wrote in creative writing in lessons number 1 through 6. Remember, lessons 1 through 6, you always had to write down maybe your favorite part or who your characters were. That can help you think about what you want to write about. I wrote about the Summer of the Monkeys. So I wrote my title, my author, and how many page numbers I had. You'll have to fill all those out. Remember to use your nice and neat handwriting. Who was the main character? My main character was Jayberry. Where the story took place, in the Bottoms and on the farm. So I'm going to read mine, where it says what my book is about. It says use complete sentences. Remember to use a capital letter at the beginning and a punctuation mark at the end. My book is about Jayberry trying to catch the monkeys. His grandpa tried to give Jayberry different ideas on how to catch the monkeys. Jayberry used traps, but Jimbo, the monkey, snapped the traps and took all the apples and gave them to the little monkeys. One day Jayberry found the monkeys drinking sour mash. The monkeys gave some to Jayberry and Jayberry got drunk, and the monkeys took Jayberry's breeches off. You know what breeches are? Pants. What I like best about the book, this was my favorite part. It was when Jayberry finally caught the monkeys. Jayberry used the money he got from catching the monkeys and gave it to, you have to read the rest of the book to find out what he did with the money he got. So, you see how maybe now you want to read some of the monkeys. That's one of my favorite books. I love this story. So, if you ever want to read it, I think think we have it out in the library, and if we don't, you can use mine. It's fairly fat, so it might take you a while to read it. Maybe you'll have to get your mom or your dad to read it to you. I often read it at story time, but this year I did not read it. I didn't read it last year either, did I? Don't think so. I think I read it the year before. So I can't wait to read your book report. Maybe I'll want to read the book that you wrote about. And once you read it, we are going to make sure everybody gets to hear about your book report. So we'll put it on the video, and you'll have to video it, or you can do it here at school. I'll see once how it goes. So when next time you come, make sure you bring it to school. Letter B, underline the compound sentence. And the rest is we remember. Oh, I was also going to tell you, here are some words you could use. Don't always just use then. Then they went to the pond. Then they took a hike. And then they went fishing. Okay? You could use like first, what happened first, then, third, next, last, and finally. Those are some good words to use instead of always just using then. Spelling words. Pray, they, way, ceiling, eighth, I, field, great, head, key, monkey, nay, obey, peace, police. Now, some of these words are a little harder than you've had in the past. So I have a little rhyme I want to teach you. It goes like this. Use IE before E, except after C, or when it sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. So always use I before E. So you see how you use the I before E in the word field. Use I before E except after C. If this comes after the C, then you don't use IE, you use EI. Or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. You have those two words in your spelling word. In your spelling words. Here's way. You don't spell it EI because it has the A sound. Let's say it again. We're going to say it a couple times, and we'll try to remember to say it the next couple days as well. Use I before E, except after C, or when sounded like A, as in neighbor and way. One more time. Use I before E, except after C, or when sounded like A, as in neighbor or way. This will help you know when to use IE or EI. Usually use IE, as in field, but except after the C and if it has the A sound. The rest is we remember.